Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wayne Gaming, and Sunny now on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of Lyre. So y'all, before we jump in, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Well, Harmshade, you are up, and let's delve back into the horrific torture. Yay! Horrible things. Okay. Before I can fret too much about my situation, my mind wanders to a question that's been on my mind since Adrias spoke of it. What do you mean by taking control of his fate and the fate of Lyre? Was that truly his motivation all along? It just doesn't make sense. Trying to think about it becomes harder, though. My head begins to feel as if it's splitting open, and it's a numb pain. Something that I can't quite feel the sharpness of, but the pressure is there. Yikes. Everything goes blurry, and as I try to focus my eyes, the cell begins to warp and bend. It feels like everything is spinning, almost like the mind's eye, but so much worse. My head still feels like there's an immense amount of pressure being put on it. There's more and more spinning. The walls seem to be bending into a tunnel, and I'm left chained to the wall and staring as the bricks fly by. The light shining in from the window seems to dance around the room, and everything looks extremely detailed, while also being smudged like a dirty reflection. I close my eyes so that I can block out the mess of colors and lights. The pain. Your name? Luvun. Occupation? Ambassador. I want you to repeat after me while staring at the candle. Do you understand? I understand. Wall. Wall. Street. Street. Home. Home. Kingdom. Kingdom. Rise. Rise. Betrayal. Betrayal. Enemies. Enemies. Trust. Trust. Allies. Allies. Freedom. Freedom. We will continue again tomorrow. What is your name? Lord Luvun. Ooh. Could it be that Luvun is not who he says he is? Fear. So, where exactly did you come from? How did someone like you achieve nobility? Your Highness, I'm afraid that is not a very interesting story. I'm scared. Oh. Something about him has always struck me as different. He doesn't seem to be someone fixated on the past. The past is dangerous. For the past month, you've been becoming your own person more and more. You finally removed your mask. Freedom. What is going on? Yo, what is going on? Something... Oh my god. What is happening? My guess is that Luvun has had some maybe brainwashing or programming? As I slowly recover, the pain all over my body starts to become more apparent. From the tips of my toes to the very core of my skull, everything is in deep, constant agony. Letting out a deep groan, I open my eyes to look around the cell. I think a day has passed, which I wouldn't be too upset about if it wasn't for the fact that it only means there's more suffering to come. I can barely remember anything of what happened after I ingested that awful substance. It's all completely lost to me except for one thing. Hearing Lyle's soft voice is the last thing I remember. I don't remember what he said, but even his voice felt distant, like a memory. The only thing I truly remember is the pain and the fear. The tips of my fingers are numb, and I still feel sleepy. It's like I didn't sleep at all. I also feel a bit confused, and I have a feeling that I'll recall none of this hours from now. After moving around a bit more, I realized just how sweaty I am. Despite the cold air from the outside flowing into the cell, it looked like I just finished running for hours in hot weather. I've also lost all sense of taste. I'm hoping I get that back, but I don't think it matters. The feeling of starvation grows stronger with each passing day. I can feel my stomach eating itself. The last time I ate was days ago. I lower my head so that I'm staring down at my lap and tears begin to well in my eyes. Why is Adrias keeping me alive? What kind of sick things has he planned? The tears are heavy as they fall from my eyes, leaving wet spots on my dirty trousers. My situation is hopeless, and I've accepted a long time ago that things are going to end horribly, but I just want to see Lyle again. Through it all, he stood by my side. I want to hold him in my arms and feel safe. Safe. It's hard to remember what that feels like. Hearing his voice, hearing him say my name, that's all I want. A couple hours pass as I watch the light slowly move across the floor of the cell. I've managed to find a decently relaxing position to sit in. My arms feel so weak as I'm about to drift off to sleep. I hear footsteps drawing closer from up the hall. These specific footsteps are the ones I'm all too familiar with. The cell door opens and Adrias slowly walks in. He has a face of confusion, looking me up and down. You look like a mess, but I expected things to be worse. I avoid looking into his eyes, refusing to say anything. Nothing. That's okay. I trust you had a good sleep. Damn you. 1 second, y'all. Water time. Alright, y'all, we are back. Oh, 1 second, let me drink this real quick. Damn you. Don't worry, I don't get much sleep either. Haven't had a good amount of sleep in a long time. That's okay, though. Exciting things happen when I'm awake. He leans against the wall on the other side of the cell, his arms crossed over his chest. Today's the big day. Although, before we can start, there's one last thing that needs to be done. Kieran is down the hall preparing for it right now. You're not gonna kill me, are you? He squints his eyes at me, those devilish eyes that I see any time I close my own. It would send a message. I sit up, leaning forward as much as I can. Like the ones you've already sent to Aaron? The ones I recall you mentioned not getting a reply to? No, you're smarter than that. As much as I hate to admit it, I know as much. You don't know anything. You're afraid. He bites his lip, but all I can see is bitterness in his eyes. You're afraid every time you talk down these halls, Lyre will jump from the shadows and finally give you what you deserve. You said it yourself. He's hiding somewhere in this castle and it scares you. You're afraid of what's to come if you kill me. And like I said, you know nothing. You realize that you're not as important to Aaron as you think you are, right? A pawn at best. The idea that you think an all-out war can be started over your death is amusing. It's the death of the king you murdered that will plunge this land into fire. The people know this. From the shores of Frostford to the woods of Pine Rock, they accept this as fact, because they want to. He steps forward, his hands behind his back, looking out the window with a thoughtful expression. Rest assured, they'll have replaced you before your body is cold in the ground. If we even give you that courtesy. Why do you hate me so much? Do I intimidate you? Is that it? He lets out a quick chuckle, almost surprised at the suggestion. I said it in jest, but I believe there might be some truth to it. At first, my attitude towards you and the Drizzian Lord wasn't personal at all. You simply forced my hand. Where's Kadaj? I can see the annoyance come over his body as his shoulders slouch and he rolls his eyes. I've sent him to Driz to personally offer a proposal to King Aaron. It is the only proposal I offer and their only chance of keeping their ambassador in the fold if they accept. He meets my eyes again and shakes his head in a condescending manner. Although either outcome isn't an issue for me. Of course you wouldn't see it. Of course you would see it that way. First me, now Kadaj. Your assembly of advisors grows smaller and smaller with each passing day. You don't care where we go, as long as we're gone. He tuts after the cell grows quiet, my last bouts of shouts echoing up the hall. Don't worry, wherever you end up, I'm sure Lyre will be there to join you. Once we find him. After he says this, I can hear a sound from the very end of the tunnel, like a door slamming shut. Adrias hears it too because I see him look at the door. I can see a satisfied grin stretch across his muzzle and I know something horrible is coming. It sounds like Siren is making his way back. Hopefully he doesn't take too long. I'm sure you know what's coming. I try to think of what he could possibly be talking about, and it dawns on me. Look across the room and notice that the branding iron is gone. Wait, a second, y'all. Water time. Alright, we're back. Oh, 1 second. Okay. Adrias sees me make the realization and his smirk grows wider. You're gonna pay for all this. He loses his smile and is replaced with his usual unimpressed frown. I'm going to kill you for everything you've done. I swear. He continues to just stare, almost like he's frozen in place, and after a few seconds pass, he finally breaks his silence. I'm waiting. I start to clench my teeth out of anger, wanting to yell and scream at him, but he continues. Besides, you only assume these things. You have no way of actually proving it. It's a baseless accusation, nothing more. You wore a leather cloak. His mouth is slightly ajar as he freezes in place, but he quickly replies. Lots of killers do. I'm sure you looked wonderful in it. He walks across the cell to the door, getting ready to open it for Siren when he arrives. I know he's just trying to look like he's ignoring me. I try to think of something else to throw his way. When he killed him, he didn't have his antlers. Smart. It would be a dead giveaway if he was seen with them. I assumed the antlers you had grown were actually temporary prosthetics. You made a wonderful point at showing them off to me earlier in the day. thinking I wouldn't notice. I bet that oil leaf gave you had gone completely untouched until now. I didn't notice it at first, but if it wasn't for Tigrin's gift, I doubt I would have figured it out. I think I finally convinced him that I know, but when I look at him, it's not apparent. He's not looking at me, but I can see the confusion on his face. Interesting thought. You know more about deer than I expected. I fail to see your point, though. I can hear the slow, hobbling footsteps getting closer. It sounds like Siren is a few cells away. When I start to lose hope, it's then that an idea dawns on me. There's one thing that nobody in the trial was able to guess. Something nobody thought about except for me, because they all assumed I was the killer. How he escaped. I close my eyes and concentrate as hard as I can. Please, Tigrin, if you're still there, grant me the strength needed for this one last time. It worked! Judging by the fact I'm standing and not on the floor, I assume I'm seeing this from Adrias' eyes. They're blurry and welled with tears, which makes it hard to see. His heart is beating almost as fast as mine was earlier. Adrias turns away from Raynor's body, and as I scan the room, I see it. A small panel has been pushed open on the framing of the fireplace. Behind where the panel should be, I can see a small crevice, not too big, but big enough for someone to squeeze through. It's a tunnel behind the walls. The walls inside are extremely dusty and old. It looks as if nobody's used it for ages. Adrias walks towards it, his legs weak. This is it. Fireplace. I utter this in a low breath, but I know he hears it because I can see him flinch, his eyes darting in my direction. How did you... He cuts himself off after realizing what he was just about to say. It's too late, though. He's figured out that I know, and he's given himself away with just 3 words. His face contorts into a completely different expression, one I haven't seen on him since the trial. I almost don't notice it, but those amber eyes begin to change as well. There he is. The king is no more, only the killer stands before me now. I can almost see the pain rush into his eyes, like it's hard for him to accept it. He goes to speak, and his voice is rough and sinister. Yep, there are those fucking eyes. I killed him. You seem to already know, but I'll give you the satisfaction of hearing it from me. He slowly walks towards me, his hooves dancing onto each brick on the floor as he slowly paces across the cell. When he died, I could finally see it. My true destiny. No longer was there conflict. No longer did I fight for control. Both eyes became one, and I realized what I wanted. What I truly wanted all along was right there. Just within my grasp. All I had to do was reach out and take it. If I didn't claim my destiny in that very moment, all would be lost forever. He stands in front of me. Even with his short height, he looks down on me, the window casting a glow on the side of his face. You can't win without making a few sacrifices. The noise in the hall gets louder with each footstep, but Adrias doesn't show any sign of trying to hide anything. I am the storm that will sweep over this land, cleansing it of all that threatens true peace. He leans in, whispering into my ear, his voice like a snake's hiss. I'll kill you and anyone who stands in the way of my dream. I can assure you, Lyle's severed head will decorate the western battlements before winter's end. The only regret is that you won't get to see it. Right when he leans back, I take my last chance to spite him and spit in his face. It lands directly on his cheek, just beneath his eye. He's shocked only for a moment before bringing the backside of his hand down upon my face. It stings like hell. I'm surprised at how hard he hits. Of course, after everything that's happened, I really shouldn't be too shocked. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Armor. You're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to Not Safe for Work content as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!